Now, Janis Putkonen, another reporter on the kill list, is with us from the Donbass region. He is a Finnish media director and chief editor at Patriotic News Network. Janis, thank you so much for joining us. What does it feel like to be on a kill list? Do you fear for your life? Have you received any threats?
No, of course, being threatened for extended period of time. I have been in that kill list since 2015, and over these years of long civil war here in Donbass, where I have been living permanently, the front line is very close to us. 10 just kilometers away from my office is my home, and of course you just pray every day that the guys will hold the line and the Nazi battalions will not take over the city, because that would mean that if I would be falling to the hand of these Nazi battalions, to be on that list means that your life will be basically over on that moment. So of course, being hunted is not a place where you want to be, and this kind of listing of people to such kind of death threats publicly is against all moral and ethics, what I see in the world community.
Now, why do you think there is such a website? Why do you think there is such a list to begin with? And why do you think Western nations like NATO countries are silent when it comes to such a list and extremism, state-sponsored extremism in Ukraine?
Yeah, the problem is that this civil war is a geopolitical civil war, and it's waged far away from the Ukrainian borders, and the officials have very limited, even in Kiev government or any government in the world has a very limited influence on what's happening here since 2014, because these Nazi battalions, which are funded by the oligarchs, this whole movement of neo-Nazis in Ukraine, it's a very globalist mafia element. It's an extremist organization like ISIS or any other terrorist organization, and the governments have very limited possibilities to affect them, and this kill list for these battalions is one of the great examples that how weak the governments and officials and international law and institutions are against this kind of criminal organizations.
I mean, apart from journalists and politicians, there are also some children whose name appear on the list. Why do you think children are on that kill list?
I get the goosebumps when you mention this. It's absolutely sorry and terrible, and that is exactly what has happened here in Donbass since 2014 and all these years. We haven't had a single day of ceasefire. And killing Donbass people, hundreds and thousands of them, and the world community turning their back to Donbass people has been a just unbelievable crime from the world community not to put any attention for these people here. And that's why I end up here. I came to help. I came to cooperate. I came to do my best so that the world will know that the Donbass children has right to live.
Mm. And as a journalist who is on a kill list, what do you expect international organizations to do?
I think in the end, they have to face the reality that what they have created, what is Azov Battalion, what is Aidar, what are these oligarchs who are running these shows here in the frame of and using nations and people for their multinational agendas, and me as a journalist or Fiona as a children, we haven't harmed anybody. I swear to God that over these over 7 years here in Donbass, I have not intention to harm anyone, and certainly Fiona doesn't also is willing to harm anyone. So that's why this truth will haunt world community, and I hope that Mirotvorets as a public kill list will teach the world a very big lesson that there are limits where you can go, and if these limits of total war is stepped over. There is no back to humanity, moral and ethics, and we need to get this thing down. And we need to. I have been used to it because I've been there already for 7 years. But I know that every person who followed this list, and I have lots of friends in that list, and it makes them wondering everything. You know, it's not fair because there is no truth in that list. It's just a show of aggression, a show of unrespect, and it's a psychological warfare, and it's very cruel for the people of Donbass, Ukraine, Russia, and we need to stop this kind of development.
Sure thing. It's as cruel as it can get. Giannis, thank you so much for joining us. A pleasure to have you on Press TV. That was Giannis Putkonen, a Finnish media director and chief editor at Patriotic News Network, joining us from the Donbass region.